Everybody, this is a guided walkthrough for level number 9 over at the Natas Labs from overthewire.org. So for each one of these levels, we need to take a look at what's going on over here. So we've got a web page. It's got a very simple form. It says find words containing something something. So we don't know what this is. We can actually look at the source code that was used to create this application. And we'll be doing that in just a second. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just put a test payload into the search field, and we're going to click on search. Okay, so this was, well, we get a bunch of words that have the word test inside of them. So this is it's a pretty interesting web application. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the source code and see what it's actually doing. Okay, so the source code is here. We actually don't need to pay attention to anything that is not the PHP code. So the PHP code is here, okay, and it defines a variable called key. So if you didn't know that this was PHP code, there's a very easy way to identify PHP code, and it's these opening brackets and closing brackets. So I'm pretty sure that PHP is the only language that uses opening and closing brackets for their code that looks like this. So we see a key variable is defined over here. It's an empty string. So if array key exists, needle, in the request, then the key variable is going to be equal to the value of the needle in the request. So the next part of the code is if key is not an empty string, then run the pass-through function grep I with the key dictionary.txt. So the pass-through function in PHP, understanding this is very important for solving this level. So the pass-through function in PHP, this lets you run system commands. If you can run the pass-through function, you can run any system command underneath of the web server on the web server's OS. In this case, it's a Linux command. So the Linux command is running grep I for case insensitive with the key on dictionary.txt. So essentially, it's looking for words inside of this file called dictionary.txt, and it's using the key that we provide as the argument to the grep command. So what does this mean? So this means what we can do is we can try to look for the flag for this particular exercise by using something called OS command injection. So let's talk about that. So in Natas level 9, we're dealing with a web app vulnerability called OS command injection. So operating system command injection is a web app vulnerability where arbitrary OS commands can be performed on a web server through a web interface. So it basically means you can run system commands through the web application, which is really bad news. So OS command injection is a very serious vulnerability and can often lead to complete compromise of the web server. And if so, the web server can be used as a foothold to attack other machines on the network. So OS command injection is the worst news. It's one of the most serious web application vulnerabilities. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be injecting an OS command injection payload into the web application to try to get the password. So we know from the description of the Natas CTF game that all the passwords for the levels are stored in this directory over here on the web server. So the etc Natas webpass directory. And in this case, we want to access Natas level 10's password because that's the level we want to get access to next. So we're going to be doing something that looks kind of like this to get access. So the first part of the command is the semicolon. So the semicolon is going to terminate a command. So we're going to terminate the grep command that is being used in the pass-through function here. So we're just going to terminate that. So whatever command we're running here, we're just going to get rid of it, and then we're going to run our own command. So number 2, the cat command is going to read files. So right after we terminate the command, we're just going to read the password file for Natas 10 over here. And the last part of the payload is going to be the hash symbol. So the hash symbol over here, it's going to comment out the whatever else is part of the command. So in this case, we're going to grep I, and then we're going to terminate this command, and then we're going to get rid of this part of the command over here, and we're just going to run the cat command on the password file. So let's go ahead and do that. So where's my payload? My payload is over here. Let me copy that. Then we're going to go over to the web app. So the web app is here. We're going to paste in our payload here, and this is going to let us run the cat command to read the password for Natas level 10. Click on search, and this is the password. Okay, so we've got the password for the next level. So Natas 10, this is the password. All right, everybody, that was a guided walkthrough for Natas level 9 from the Natas CTF game over at overthewire.org. If you enjoyed this guided walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on the video and leave a comment underneath the video. But until next time, HackerFrogs out!
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button. And if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.